Alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to The King's Speech. So, I originally did not intend to do this reaction review for One Piece this week. Mostly because, as I mentioned in my last week videos, Wano isn't really doing it for me, and I didn't really feel like, week to week kind of going through the chapter and having my reaction be meh. But a few people did message me on Twitter saying that I would really enjoy this chapter and that they would like to see my reaction to going through it. And yesterday, this was kind of not the greatest, but yesterday we saw the actual. There was the scanlations came out for the chapters, and One Piece 955 was trending worldwide in a bunch of different countries all over, which was kind of unfortunate because they were reading the illegal scans. And I always will endorse and support the official releases, and I urge you all to do the same. But yeah, because of that, I decided, all right, I might as well give it a try, and yeah, we'll see how. We'll see what all the hype is about regarding this chapter. Some quick channel news before I move ahead with other stuff. So I will do more Alita Vinland Saga stuff this week. I'll try to make Vinland Saga a priority for this week because I know I didn't get a video out last week for that one, so I'll try to start the Volume 2 review and read through stuff this week. I want to thank everyone that's been watching my Alita videos and giving support and comments for that. That has meant a lot, and I'm glad that Alita is so popular. So don't worry, I will do my best to go through. I'll do at least one video for Alita this week, and if I can, I'll try to swing more. But I'm just gonna put it out there that my schedule will vary week to week with the videos, just based on timing and everything else, depending on what else is happening with life. So at minimum, I'll try to do one video a week, and if I have more time than that, I'll try to do more videos. But yeah, I think that's about all of it. So without further ado, let's dive into One Piece chapter 955, Enma. And we have Gang Bege's Oh My Family, Volume 6, stopping at this island to stock up on foods. And it looks like they're stopping off at Dressrosa because you see the giant cliff rock face. So I wonder if Beges is going to make his way back through all the places the Straw has visited on their way through the New World or not. But oh no. The other thing might be because based on the time, because I think this is probably happening during the week leading up to the Fire Festival, because Bege and co left Whole Cake at the same time the Straw Hats did. So I wonder if they're gonna I wonder if they're just gonna meet the other residents of Dressrosa, or if they're gonna meet Riku and everyone, depending on how the timing and stuff with Reverie works. I don't wonder what's gonna happen there. But we start the chapter with Hiyori going, "I'll admit I'm worried out of my mind for poor Otoko, but for now, Kawamatsu, I will refrain from meeting the others. Sentiment is forbidden before a battle." And she kind of does the Dozeka bow and goes, "Please join your strength with the others and find a way to protect Wano." And of course, Kawamatsu's like, "Oh, princess, please rise, no." So that seems odd. I'll go through thoughts at the end, but that's weird. So we have Amigasa Village, Kuri Wano, with someone going, "What? Is this true? Lady Hiyori survived?" So you have all the scabbards freaking out going, of course. "And the little tomboy has learned to speak and act so finely? She has grown indeed. Knowing that you'd been captured, Kawamatsu, we all simply assumed the worst and dared not ask." So they're all freaking out and crying, knowing that Hiyori's alive. And Dogstorm's like, "Where is she now? Is she guarded?" And Kawamatsu goes, "Not to fear, she is in a safe place." And Kinnamon's crying his eyes out, going, "I'm so glad, what a relief." And Momono's thinking back to when she was a little toddler going, "Big brother, flying kick." And she does a drop kick on his head. And he goes, "Hiyori." And he's talking to Zoro and he goes, "You rescued her, Zorojuro? I'm in your debt." Hiyori is rough and tumble, but at her core she is soft and quick to tears. And Zoro's like, "Listen, Momo, you gotta get your mind out of the past. She's 18 years older than you now." And Momo's like, "Oh, what? Flying kick from someone 18 years older? That sounds dangerous." And of course, Sanji Scumbag is just like, "Wait, was she the babe I saw with you? Oh, Momonosuke, anything I can get for you, little buddy?" Oh my god, Sanji is the most pathetic person I have ever laid eyes on. Like, this is not even endearing or like comedic, it's just sad. It's just sad on so many levels what he used to be and what he is now. Whatever. And Zoro's like, "Don't suck up to her brother, idiot." And then you have Kitetsu going, "My preparations are complete. Are you sure about this?" And Kawamatsu's like, "Yes, we've already cleared it up." So then Okigu comes out from behind and goes, "Sir Hitetsu, here is Kitetsu II. It was confiscated from Luffy, Taro, and Udon." And Kitetsu's like, "Ah, thank you. The boy took it from me without permission." And Zoro's like, "Kitetsu, so it was a named sword." So Hitetsu comes out and says, "Now, I am Tenguyama Hitetsu, a katana blacksmith of Wano. For 20 long years I have been waiting for the opportunity to bequeath these swords to you two. Lord Oden's swords, Ame no Habakiri, that cuts down the heavens, and Enma that splits the earth to the bottom of hell. Both are held among the 21 excellent great swords, along with Shusui." Okay, that's a bit of a surprise because I thought both those swords would be one of the 12 grades, but I guess not. And I know the Anon on my Twitter did not care for this idea and bitched at me about it. I still maintain, seeing it like this, I feel like Zoro is going to get Enma and Tashi is eventually going to end up with Ame no Habakiri. You can feel free to completely doubt it. It's a completely crazy theory I'm tossing out there. But I'm sticking to it. Like, just seeing it side by side is reinforcing that idea, along with the one I had of Tashiki and Smoker becoming the White Hunters. So thematically, for me, it fits, but we'll see what happens. And so Tengu turns to Momonosuke and he goes, "What shall we do with my masterpiece, Lord Momonosuke?" Oh, and Momonosuke is like, "Oh, I'm not ready yet. I'm not afraid, but I want you to keep it for now. As for Enma, it is now yours. Though I'll warn you." Zoro grabs it, and Hitetsu goes, "Before or after, only one man has ever tamed Enma, and that man was Kozuki Oden." Zoro takes it out of his scabbard and he goes up to a tree. And Hitetsu's like, "Cut down one of those trees to test its edge." And you see a glint coming off the blade, and you can see it's quite sharp. And it looks like this might just be the perspective of how Oda drew it, but the blade looks quite a bit bigger than Zoro's other ones. And Kinamon's like, "Sir Zoro, I say this only out of kindness, but I would not accept that." So you see Zoro's done a slash and he just shaves a corner off the coastline. And all the retainers are freaking out going, "He sliced the coastline!" What the fuck is this? Okay, in the next chapter you see the arm that's holding the sword. Going, Zorojuro's arm! And you see, it reminds you of, when Luffy was attacked by Croc and he sucked out all the moisture. You see the same thing where his arm just seems to dehydrate. And you see what looks like flames coming out of Enma's blade goes black. And Zoro glares at it and goes, "Hey you, give it back." And you see steam just pouring off his arm and off the blade. And with a whoosh, it goes back into his arm and his arm blackens with haki again. And you see him going, "Huh, huh." And Hitetsu continues, "It exudes its wielder's Ryo on its own. and slices more than needed. Well done. A normal swordsman would be a mere husk right now. Okay, I'll talk about this at the end. And then someone asks, what shall we do? Would you like a different katana? And Zoro's like, no, I'll take this one. Enma, huh? So by the time I'm used to this, it'll mean I've gotten that much stronger, won't it? And you see these sick little flame patterns along the blade. And Kawamatsu's like, I can't believe this fellow. Ka-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa. I will say I like this smirk, which reminds me of the Zoro of old. We have Amigasa Village, Kuri. 3 days until the raid. And Robin goes, according to the intel I heard, the Animal Kingdom pirates have about 20,000 soldiers. Shogun Orochi's procession holds around 10,000. In other words, we should expect Onigashima to contain 30,000 enemies on that day. And Ushura goes, it won't endanger the common folk, but will be in the enemy's own backyard. Even the mansion plans will only help so much. And Kinnamon's writing down something, maybe more notes. And you see him going, as of this moment, we have 4,000 at best. Though it will not be a true all-out battle. And you see Itachi Port Kuri. Fix them up, boys. Frankie's shouting, we don't got time. I want to be able to ferry 100,000 men. And one of the carpenters like, we're not going to have that many. Frankie's like, well, there's nothing wrong with aiming high. It's like it's a waste of hard work. One of the others like, let's put money on it. How many people will we get? Then you see Excavation Labor Camp Udon. And you see King Kong Gun. And Luffy just doing his, just wailing on that piece of iron, and he just blows it apart. And the people are like, whoa. And he's like, well, that was a failure. And Hyogoro's like, you strained too hard. And the prisoner's like, that was a failure? And you see Bamboo Grove, Amigasa Village. You see Zoro practicing doing test runs with the sword. And you see Momo there with the little kendo blade, just, plastic, or the wooden sword, just playing or training along with him. Going, Zorojuro, I was told not to say Sonachi. It's just something the old guy in my village told me. Oh. Zoro says, it's just something the old guy in my village told me. I've never said it myself before. And Momonosuke's like, what? So then you see, hey, there. Amigasa Village, 2 days until the raid. And you see, we're here. And you see, I made it back, master. So you see Otama riding on the back of Reindeer Chopper. It was like, hey, guys. And now he's like, Chopper, Luffy. And then Itachi's like, Otama, you had me worried sick. And then the Yakuza bosses, whose names I have not bothered to memorize, call in and go, Kinemon, we've got another 200 to add to the total. And he's like, is that so? Oh, so he's noting down what their forces are like. So he goes, that puts our total manpower at about 4,200. And he goes, no word from Sir Law yet, however. If he doesn't show up, that's no skin off our backs, is it? Oh. So Shinobu's still mad, and she goes, if he doesn't show up, that's no skin off our backs, is it? And then Kinemon's like, no way, Shinobu, he's really powerful. And you see Luffy's just conked out and sleeping as Otama is just braiding up some hats. And she goes, big bro trained too much, and now he won't wake up. So you see someone that looks like Shinobu's brother, except he's dressed in black, go outside the Resetsu prisoners' quarters, Flower Capital, going, sadly, there's nothing we can do for those captured in the capital. They'll even arrest the family members who dare to protest. And Kinemon's like, but those are hardy samurai locked up in there. And one of the samurai goes, hey, guard. Oh. What the hell? Come on. He goes, hey, guard, it's nearly the day of the festival. We want to take part. He's like, no, silence. He's like, damn it, this is our final chance. We want to join in when everyone's risking their lives. So Kinemon is on the snail phone going, well done, everyone. Use your remaining time to travel and prepare. Let us meet at the port in question. And they're all like, got it. So Next page, you see Amigasa Village Kuri, the day before the raid. We're gonna leave first, Sir Luffy. We must get there before everyone else, Kinemon says. And Luffy's like, okay, our Sunny is here on the coast. And he goes, don't get spotted, alright? Kinemon's like, preposterous. We've been scouting it out. Remember, we're counting on you. He's like, go on ahead, we got this. At the port then. And they kind of clasp hands and go, you bet. And so there are countless smokestacks over this land, and even more unfortunate laborers beneath them. And you see these two prisoners just wailing on a piece of metal going, you think it's true? What's true? Did you hear the rumor that Lord Yasue was covering for the Akazaya samurai? He's like, what? That flyer wasn't actually Lord Yasue's prank. It's the actual signal for a real raid. Hey, back off. So you see all the citizens talking about it. You see more of the prisoners going, don't giving me pointless hope now. Remember what happened to the Kozuki clan 20 years ago? Even if Kinemon and his gang are alive, their spirits will be broken by now. There won't be any more uprising. And you see one of the prisoners just falling over going, we'll still be slaves, as he just collapses. Someone's like, hey, whoa, get up, man. And they're like, there's no help for a locked up nation like this. And nobody can come along and put up a fight against Kaido. So then you see, meanwhile, 7 samurai with red scabbards, 1 shinobi, and 1 little lord set off across the barren ground, crunching like winter frost under their soles. So you see that they're all wearing the Kasa hats that Otama was weaving for them. And you see the sun at its zenith burns bright and hot, despite the lingering clouds. These are not vengeful ghosts come to repay the slaughter of their liege after 20 years. They cast 9 shadows crisp upon the earth. And then you see Robin, Otoko, and some others before 2 graves. And one says Yasue on it. And it says, when we win the fight, we'll build fancier graves. Okay, so they have 1 grave for Yasue and 1 set up for Pedro. And you see Wanda shedding a tear. And you see Hitetsu looking up on Zoro and he goes, boy, do you find that Enma fits comfortably in your hand? And Zoro's like, And he goes, you already wield Kitetsu the Third. That is one of mine. And Zoro's like, what, really? And he goes, it works much like a cursed blade does. The weak cannot control it. Okay, alright. Next page you see, the most likely reason it feels familiar to you must be some twist of fate. You see that white blade, Wado Ichimonji, and Enma. Alright, then we'll get into the good parts. Were both crafted by the same man, the blacksmith Shimotsuki Kozaburo. He broke the laws and left this land over 50 years ago. Perhaps Lady Hiyori recognized your sword and gave you her father's memento. And he goes, Enma is not yet forged into a black blade. Depending on you, its rank might yet be raised. And you see Luffy's finally got done from his training, and he does this punch with his whip, and you see a tree explode with a kapow from the inside. So it looks like Luffy's finally mastered how to use that new haki. And he goes, just you wait, Kaido. And you see at the Shogun's tower, Udon is safe and well? Yes, sir, no problems. He's like, was it a bad report? And so you see Orochi going, untrustworthy fool. But as long as I have this information, that is enough. A switch from Habu Port to Tokage Port. Kozuki Hiyori still alive somewhere in the north. And you see in the next panel Law's face with a bang, ba-bang. Law with a grimace on his face. Well, not grimace, I suppose, more like a determined face. And you see Hiyori once again playing the shamisen going, come now, gather around. The sky is clear, or the fallow capital where the cherry blossoms fall. The day of the fire festival is here at last. Make way, make way. The Shogun's procession is passing through, and a battle that will affect the fate of the very world is about to begin. Wano Act 2 end. Next chapter hits September 20th. So it looks like we're getting the next chapter early as well. Alright. Thoughts, I suppose, now. That was a decent chapter at best. I understand why people, excuse me, certain people would have been super hyped, excuse me, reading this chapter. I think it's completely undeserved hype. This chapter did not deserve the amount of insane hype led it to be trending with illegal scanalations. Like, I get that everyone's excited about, the upcoming battle. I'm glad that the week after I decide, fuck this, I'm not gonna do reviews, you finally get the end of Act 2 of Wano, which I've been looking forward to for quite a while now. So I guess first thing is I will react to next week's chapters because I'm curious now that Act 2's finally ended if we're going to be going back to Reverie and what else. It doesn't seem like a coincidence Oda's setting up Bej to land at Dressrosa right when Act 2 of Wano's ended because it feels like he's going to set up something with the cover story. For Hiyori, her bullshit, I don't want to see people now, is bullshit. Like, I feel like she's doing something secretly behind everyone's backs to try and protect them. I hope it doesn't end with her ending up being a damsel in distress that has to get rescued. But I guess we'll see. The only thing I wonder is if she's going to go see Kyoshiro and talk to him, because I'm still convinced she and Kyoshiro were in cahoots to take down Orochi. So I wonder if she's going to find him and set up something else with that. And it feels like Oda's setting up something with this whole crap of, Hiyori used to be a tomboy when she was younger. Now, she's all refined and ladylike and everything. That could just be typical Oda being like, because she used to be a tomboy, but she had to, act and pretend to be all refined because she became a geisha, basically. Uh, Not particularly interested in that, so that is whatever it is. And like the fact that like Momonosuke, okay, so there's two things that could happen with the Ame no Habakiri, because Momonosuke right now is like, oh, I'm not ready yet, and the popular theory among the OP fandom and one I support is the idea that Momonosuke is going to get aged up at some point during Wano in the fight against Kaido. So I could see this blade coming into play at that moment, where you see Momonosuke getting aged up, and he's like, "Oh, now I'm finally ready, to take on my father's legacy, whatever crap, and do that." But the fact that Enma's been given away to Zoro, and just given the thematic stuff again, I'm placing bets on the fact that Tashigi is eventually going to end up with the other sword. And I'll get to that when we talk about Act 2. The only stuff I really was intrigued by in this chapter was the sword apparently like forcibly extracting Zoro's haki from his body to expel it. Because this is something I've been, talking about, theorizing about for the longest time, is wondering, all right, does a sword have a will of its own? And how does that contrast with a swordsman learning to wield a sword, like becoming the world's greatest swordsman and stuff? I'll try to find some old theories and like bump it up on Twitter, but I'm curious how that's gonna play out with Enma specifically, because right now like a lot of Zoro's stuff is based on him like fighting with Enma. Like Enma's like, this is what I'm going to do, and Zoro's being like, no, you're gonna listen to me, I'm your master, all that. So I'm curious to find out more about like the creation of swords and everything else, and we'll kind of get to that at the end with the other stuff. Again, with like the 30,000 versus 4,000, is like Oda's trying to play up the underdog thing and being like, oh my god, tension. Oh, how are they going to defeat these guys? It's like when they were up against the new fishermen pirates, there's 100,000 of them back then. And I know the thing is all like, oh, everyone on Wano's so much stronger, blah, 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 but I don't really see it as a disadvantage with the 30,000 versus the 4,200 now, I guess, just because we still have no idea what the strength of Kaido's forces are. So most of those 30,000 will be fodder we don't really give a shit about. So the ones we'll have to watch out for will obviously be the numbers. Will obviously be king, queen, all those people. So I'm wondering what's happening with those. Uh, the samurai being captured in the capital. I think I mentioned in my last week's video that one of my good friends, Grant at Heavenly Halberd on Twitter, did the thread talking about it feels like the raid is going to fail. The raid on Onigashima is going to fail in this round. And the fact that a bunch of samurai still tied up in the capital kind of feeds into that. Unless Oda kind of backtracks on it and has them, get busted out during the actual fire festival, I'd put that more towards evidence being that the raid is going to fail. And then Kinemon and the others going early again feels like set up for something else is going to happen. I don't know if that's going to mean, Kinemon and Ko are going to get captured, and then Luffy and Ko will find out, and then they'll have to go into hiding before the battle even commences. I don't know how that's going to play into it. That should be interesting. The Pedro grave is going to be bullshit. I guarantee that Pedro shows up alive some point during this arc. So the whole grave shit does nothing for me. And then at the very end, so I hope Oda kind of goes into the details about like, the swords and like becoming the black blades and everything, because conceptually that's something I would like to see explored more so than just, oh yeah, you just imbue Haki into a blade, it becomes more powerful, blah blah blah. And I already commented, I think, like a couple of videos when we first started this. I still don't care for how Oda set up the Luffy getting the power up, because I know in the SBSs he's like said, oh, I'd have, or interviews or SBSs, he said, oh, I have no idea how Luffy's gonna beat Kaido, he's so powerful, blah blah blah. So yeah, he needed him to get a power up to make the eventual defeat of Kaido believable. I don't care for the way he set it up. I'm fine with whatever. Luffy mastering the Haki and everything in a week and just having unlimited training time is all fine with me. I'm more looking to the execution to see where that lands before I kind of pass final judgment on it. And I saw some speculation on this on Twitter. It wasn't like major spoilers or anything. But anyone that seriously thinks Law is the traitor, like, come on, people, do you not know Oda at this point? Like, having him, like, be paneled next to the Shogun, is Oda just, like, red herring it out the wazoo, trying to make you believe that Law is the traitor? I don't buy that Law is. He'll probably show up at some point in the battle. And even if he does pretend to turn coat, I don't buy that Law's actually, at any point, actually turned coat on the Straw Hats. But it makes me wonder who the actual informant is, because whoever it is has to know about the change in port location. Oh shit. Yeah, it could be anyone in the camp. Like, Oda's still like clamping down on whoever it is, because whoever, it's not Kawamatsu or any of the Red Scabbards, because they only know that, okay, Hiyori's alive somewhere in the north. They don't know specifically where. So it's up in the air. But with Act 2 ending, I think this is kind of the big thing. was I know there's debate on Twitter about is Wano going to be 3 acts or is it going to be 5 acts like a traditional kabuki play? And the fact that Act 2 ended before the raid started makes me land in the camp of Wano's going to be played out in 5 acts. So Act 3 will be the raid. It'll end with the raid failing horribly, whatever happening. And Act 4 will be like the actual climactic battle that happens. And then you have Act 5 will be like the denouement and all that. So I'm curious where Oda's going to take us after Act 2, because after this point, Reverie has been over for over a week now. Unless he time skips back after this to just the end. So I'm hoping he tosses us some hints about Reverie. I am still maintaining support of all my theories about Tashi Smoker and the Marines sending some sort of presence to Wano to infiltrate the country, especially since Big Mom and Kaido did their alliance. Give me a second here. Alright, sorry about that. Where was I? So I think 5 act structure is the way it's going to go. I'm curious to see where it's gonna go from here. Oh, that's what I was saying. Like Marine presence, yeah. So theory is Marine presence is still gonna infiltrate the country. Especially now that Big Mom and Kaido have allied, because if the Marines were about to shit themselves over Whitebeard and Shanks possibly just meeting, Akainu being, the hard ass he is, I cannot see him just sitting idly by with the information that, what is it? Two of the emperors have allied. Oh, I'm not going to do anything about that. Like I'll try to bump some more theories again on my Twitter, but I've talked about how there's been too much foreshadowing set up that the world government is going to get involved in Wano somehow. Someone reminded me last week of something I completely forgot because my investment in this arc has been so low. But CP0 came into the arc, and the Shogun threatening them is not going to go down well. And I don't buy that CP0 doesn't have a plant in the country feeding them information somehow. So expect that. I expect the revolutionaries to send some kind of presence in there as well, just because, again, it was foreshadowed that the revolutionaries have an interest in it due to the drunken metal ore and the weapons sent to Doflamingo. I still maintain that Drake is a part of the revolutionaries, and he's also been Amolo sent inside Kaido's crew. So yeah, we'll see how that all plays out in the next few acts. I'm hoping Oda gives us more than a chapter. He might not, because it depends. Because I think chapter Act 1, the next chapter was just one chapter of other content before the stuff happened. Oh, Blackbeard and Moria. This arc cannot end with Kaido's defeat without Moria showing up in some capacity. Again, just basic storytelling. It's not going to end without him being there. More evidence for the raid failing. But yeah, apart from that, no other big thoughts. So I kind of hope I'll bump some old editorial stuff for this week, but I really do hope that Oda kind of commits to actual consequences and stakes once the battle actually takes place. Because right now, I do not believably buy any of the tension set up for the big battle. It's like, oh, alright, big battle, so exciting, super, whatever. Like, Oda's burnt me too badly with Punk Hazard, with Dressrosa, with Whole Cake Island, with all the bullshit fake outs, for me to buy anything unless I actually see hard evidence in front of me that he's actually going to take this seriously. And the fact that Luffy bounced back from the initial Kaido takedown super quickly pissed me off. the fact that the mummy virus was like done like that annoyed the hell out of me. So I'm not gonna believably buy any of this, setup of, oh no, we have only 4,000 people. How are we gonna? I'm not buying any of that until we actually see it. I'm hoping this is the point on from which Ono actually starts picking up as an arc and actually starts getting better. But yeah, that's about it. So hope you enjoyed my reaction review stuff. Get hyped for next week because my reaction will probably be marginally more amped up if we actually get Reverie and other stuff. So I'm going to be super excited for that and actively avoiding spoilers to try and go in completely unspoiled. There's a few minor things I got spoiled on for this chapter, like the law stuff and a few other things, but nothing that really kind of ruined my enjoyment of the chapter. So yeah. So like I said, next week that'll happen. This weekend, expect Vinland Saga Volume 2 read through to begin. Expect me to finish off Volume 2 of Alita as well. I know a lot of people are hyped for that. Wandering Sun, I think I will do what I suggested on my first read through video and just kind of read through the volume and then just do like a quick 5-10 minute video summarizing the volume, like, what happened, all that stuff, talking about favorite moments and all that, just doing like a quick recap, just because structurally I feel like it lends itself better to that. But apart from that, only thing I'll end off with saying is if you haven't already read Haikyuu, give it a chance because it is the best series running in Shonen Jump right now. The chapter this week was absolutely phenomenal. And now I'm signing off this long video. This is Ash. Talk to you later.